Mirror, mirror. Let's go back to the beginning. To the person of who I was, who's now helping me to shape the person of who I'm becoming. Let's talk about it. What up, though? Hey, y'all. Hi. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. For those of you guys that are new, well, I am chosen. And this is Beyond Your Reflection. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a channel that was created by me. However, it's designed for you, for us collectively to peel back all those ugly layers until we get to what makes you beautiful. So, pull up a chair to the celebration, honey. Grab your snacks and drink of choice, and let's talk about it, baby. Hi. So, welcome. In the beginning, let's take it to the biblical sense. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth and all that stuff. Go to Genesis, you read all that, you'll find out all about it. But also, there's a part where it says that God rests. And then there was also a part where it says, God said, let there be light. Let that light be you. That's what I want to talk about. You being the light that shines in the darkness. And not just you. Oh, I'm talking about me too. My reflection is in this piece as well. You guys. Whew. Well, I told y'all a while ago, I've been absent, went AWOL for a minute, because I've been dealing with me. And me and life have not been agreeing. We have not been getting along. Life has been that itch with the B in front, as they say. And life just hasn't been lifing, y'all. It's just not the way that I wanted it to flow. And I told y'all, on this channel, I'm going to be as authentic as I can be. I'm going to be me to reflect it, guys, on you. And I had to go all the way back to the beginning. And not just the beginning of my life story, but the beginning of here. I told you we're just celebrating 2 years. Congratulations to us. Yes. 2 years in the game of these YouTube streets. But I want to take it all the way back. Now, I went to me, aka this channel, for references as guides, because it was at that time I felt like I was at my highest point and my highest moment in life, where even though life wasn't lifing, I was still going with the flow of life, if all that makes any sense. Like, it was not as great as I wanted it to be, but it was good enough where I was able to function through it. Okay. So I had to go back. I had to go back and look at me, honey. I had to go back and look at those moments where I was at my highest, where everything felt as if it was going good, even though it wasn't. It just felt the part. And I was able to walk in that part and actually live those moments. But honey, baby, listen. Oh my God. Woo, this roller coaster effect of 2023 is serious. The last couple of weeks have been extremely rough for your girl. Extremely. Which made me go back to the basics. I had to go back to the part that made me happy, of where I was, to help me get to where I'm going. And that's what leads me to today's episode. Because you guys, like I said, the last couple of weeks have been hard. I had back-to-back deaths. And when I say back-to-back, I mean 2 days apart. So I had to process that, or learn how to process it without it taking me completely or overcoming my emotions, should I say. And it did. I sat in a dirty diaper, you guys, for a while. And if you need to know what I'm talking about, that'll be the first year. One of the episodes that I talked about changing your diaper. so you can get out of the mess that you've been sitting in. That's why I said I had to go back to the beginning. I had to go back to me. I had to dig out in the archives and go back to the parts of, okay, girl, you done been through some things. You done been through worse. You can get through it. But for whatever reason, you guys, the last couple of weeks, it hit different. And I'm not sure exactly why. And I'm guessing because I didn't have enough time to process one thing versus another. And it wasn't just the deaths that was going on, it was other things. Like I said, life just wasn't lifing, honey. And when I went back to the beginning of, when I first started this journey, as far as YouTube was concerned, and my healing, period, if you take YouTube out of it, just becoming a different version of me, the person that I know that God designed me to be. That's when I had to go back to who that person was so I could pull her back out of that funk that I was in. And yeah, I'm talking in third person because this is all related to me. But I'm hoping that it resonates with some of you guys as well. Because I've come so far in this journey. I've actually impressed myself, like, what? Oh my God, that was kind of dope. That was kind of cool. You're doing good. You're doing amazing. But lately, nah, it hasn't. And I started to see repeated patterns of who I was. The old me. The old, bitter, angry, I'm finna fight everybody in the room me. That girl. And like I said, the funny part about it is, I don't mean physically fight, but I swear I will slice your face all the way up with my words. It did not matter who feelings got hurt. And I've also talked about that as well. But I'm talking about me sitting in the grief that I was in, the anger, the frustration. Like, I had no control. Or at least I felt like I didn't have control over what was going on. And it angered, y'all, it pissed me off. I didn't want to come on here and do this. I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to be around nobody. Like, I was so angry with life because, like I said, outside of the death part, there were other things that was happening as well. And I'm like, this does not fit into the person that I'm becoming. This is what I was. Things that was happening to me financially, physically, mentally, like, it was trash. It was horrible of who I was. But then I also made reference to her because she also helped me shape of who I'm becoming. And I'm saying all that to say, you guys, sometimes you have to go back to the beginning. And you have to go back to when you look at the things or the places or whomever that took you to those darkest moments. It's okay to go back there, but don't stay there. That was my problem. I went back there and I stayed there because, and going back to the references of one of the deaths that took place in the family, it was a trigger and a trauma because I had another family member in the same family get assassinated by cops. That's a whole different episode that we'll talk about. I'm not going to do that right now, but it triggered me. And you guys remember last year, I did an episode on trigger and traumas on how to overcome both. But I went back to who I was, that angry person, and I sat in those emotions, guys. Instead of going back to look at it, process it, embrace it, and speak it to what it was, to what it should be, I sat in it. I sat in it. And I'm talking about I sat in it for a while to the point where people around me, my light was not shining at all. And when I spoke about a few minutes ago, when I said, God said, let there be light, honey, that light was not shining. Nothing around me had light to it. Even when you walk outside and it's 1,000 degrees outside and the sun is in your face, I still felt like, okay, I'm a big Pooh fan. I felt like Eeyore. Even though you're surrounded by all these friends, you got Piglet, you got Tigger, who hops around everything. Okay, even Pooh can find a good in a bad situation, but Eeyore just was not having it. Period, point blank, nah. I don't care about y'all being happy. I don't care that Tigger is bouncing. I don't care that Pooh is smiling. Don't nobody understand what I'm going through. Honey, I walked around like Eeyore forever. Way too long than I was supposed to. However, that's just the emotion that I felt. And I did not know how to pull myself out. So guess what I did? I went back to the beginning. I had to. I had to go back to when the word was created for me to discover who I was supposed to be. I was not supposed to be that angry, sad, depressed person with PTSD, anxiety, and all that stuff, which is the labels that I have medically, but I do not own them, and they will not control me. However, they had taken over. Oh, the PTSD was strong. Oh my God. The anxiety was at its highest. And I sat in it. I forgot everything that I was talking about, that I was teaching you guys to do. It went left. I did not care no more. I was so hurt and devastated by the events and things that were happening. So mentally, I started breaking down, which started adding to the physical. And for you guys that already know my story, or for those of you that don't, so in September of 2020, I died. Let's just put it out there. I had complications from a surgery and got rushed to the emergency room, and within the first hour or so, gone. However, God flipped that light back on. Was like, girl, get your butt back down there. You got stuff to do. Don't even come up here. Don't even try to walk through them gates. Don't climb these stairs. No, that. Nah, go back down there. You got stuff to do. I'm like, what? And it was at that moment when I realized, I was like, oh, there's a real calling on my life. So I am a real superhero out here in these streets. Okay, let's do something about it. Let's talk about it. And I've always said, be that person. Because one thing we have at our job in the elevator, no matter where you are, it's always you be the reason why someone else smiles today. That will be me. That's the reason why I'm here with you guys, to share my story, to share my tools, go back to year one, to share my tools with you guys of how I overcame, and maybe it can help you. However, like I said, I did not take my own advice. So I had to go back to the beginning. I had to go back there. And I had to realize how I felt in those moments. Those moments do not belong where I am now, the person I'm becoming. If I keep talking about I'm being healed or becoming a healer, how can I be sitting in hatred and anger and filth and mess? It cancels out, baby. It don't go together. It does not match the effort that I've put into becoming this different person. So if God said, let there be light, but you walking around in darkness, then you're kind of defeating the whole purpose. And that's the thing that I had to sit down with myself. So I ended up calling my doctor, told my doctor, I need to see a therapist. I need to talk to somebody. I got to get this off me because it's consuming me. Went in, saw her, new lady, which I wasn't too happy about. I missed my old best friend named Trisha. However, she gave me an insight. She said, right, y'all, going back to the beginning, which is AKA the beginning of this year, when I said, write your story. Grab a pen and a pad and write. Whether them sentences make any sense or not, just write. And when she said that to me, y'all, that's when that little light started to get a little bit more brighter. It was still dim. It was still dim. It wasn't there yet. It wasn't shining bright like that diamond I'm supposed to be. It didn't get there just yet. However, it did ignite a spark in me. And when I got home, this is exactly what I did. Now, I wrote. Some of those were tears, but I just wrote. I think I filled up 1.5 composition notebook. I can't remember how many, but I just wrote, y'all. I scripted my story. And I talked about it. That's why I said going back to the beginning. Second year, but the beginning of this year, going into year 2 of our YouTube. I talked about writing your story. What would it look like? Well, in the beginning, God created. That was the story of how it started. Biblical terms. Spiritual world, when it comes to self, you are the author. You have to write out, aka me. That's what I did. I wrote. I just got it off me. I changed my diaper. I went to the next page and I kept going until I had nothing left. And then I was like, wow, I felt better. It's almost like when you work out in the beginning, you're like, oh, child, I don't feel like this here. But when you're done and when you start seeing results, you realize that it was all worth it. So when God said, let there be light, that little light finally clicked within me. Once I was able to release what was consuming me. And I'm saying all that to say, you guys, somebody is going through something right now. Don't know who you are, where you are. But baby, go through it. Don't sit in it. My mother's biggest saying, I said it multiple times on the channel as well, he's not going to bring you to it if he's not going to bring you through it. Keep going. Don't give up. As hard as it may seem, feel, go through, taste, see, sight, feel, however, whatever senses is holding you down and holding your light from shining, baby, change the batteries. Unplug and replug, shake it off, or do whatever it's going to take for your light to shine again. Every day is not going to be easy. No, life is going to be that we do not want to see coming. But she's going to be there no matter. He or she, however you identify with life. It's still going to be a itch with a B regardless. But you be that stronger itch with a B. When life starts throwing you bricks, baby, catch them all and build a new foundation and stand strong. It's going to feel. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. However, embrace that emotion. Call it out for what it is, which is what I had to do in the beginning. Hey, I feel anger. I don't want to feel anger. I miss my joy. I miss my smile. When I say embrace whatever it is, that's what you do. You go back to the beginning and you tell whatever it is the total opposite. Today, I choose joy. Yesterday was sad as hell. You probably sat in it, cried in it, all that. But that day, that joy that comes with one of those morning, baby, when that joy comes, hold on to it. That's when the roller coaster gets fun. When you get past that first drop, maybe the first loop, maybe that turn, I don't know. Whatever part starts to make that light brighter, That's the part you hold on to, baby. And then you drop all that other stuff that was holding you down in the beginning. And then you're going to start becoming that joy or whatever that thing is that you speak life into. I had to do it. I done it several times. One too many times that I would like to repeat, but sometimes it is okay to go back to the beginning. Go back to the basics. And once you start to see what it was that you moved away from, that's going to push you closer to who you're becoming, to the person that you want to be. Everyone does not, nobody, everyone, nobody wants to sit in sorrow or sadness or depression or anxiety or whatever that thing is that's holding you back from being the real parts of you. Nobody wants to be that person. You love joy. You love music. You love dancing. You love jumping rope. You love driving down the road. You love going to the beach. You love being at the park. Whatever it is that you love to do, if there's something that's keeping you from that, let that go. That was the beginning. Look at the journey now. And then look ahead where you're going. That's where you want to be. That part over there. Forget what happened over here. Let's go over here. Let's change the narrative. Let's make life a whole lot better than what it is, what it seems, what it feels like, what it could be. Because I know what I want it to be, what I want it to feel like. It is written. You're supposed to have life and live it with joy and abundance. So sitting in mess and distress and whatever it is that's holding you back, that ain't life. That's not lifing. That means that you're going to have to change the narrative, baby. And you're going to have to go back to the beginning to pull out the person that you're becoming. Because like they say, it's light at the end of that tunnel. You just have to do the work to get there. And when God said there was light, then everything was all good. And that's exactly how life is supposed to be for you. All right. Hope this episode made sense. Hope it meant something to you. If it does, if it did, put those thumbs up. Go ahead. Let YouTube know that I'm actually doing something right. And if you haven't already, baby, that's a bell there for a reason. Bing, push it, honey. Push it for all notifications so you get notified of every time that I go and make an episode. Every time the light goes off, baby, you will be notified. So every Wednesday, come through for the midweek motivation, and every Sunday, pull up a chair to the celebration. All right, you guys, continue to live your blessed life. Let that light always shine. In the beginning, there was, but here and now, there is. I love everything about you, and so should you. I'll see you next week.